Hey YouTube, it's CS22 here, and I'm with my first tutorial. Soon I'm going to be making tutorials monthly probably, and it'll be Sony Vegas or Photoshop normally. My next one's probably going to be rendering in Sony Vegas, or the backgrounds, or experimenting with brushes in Photoshop. So send me a message if you have a request for any of them. And so now we're going to get started making this 3D text right here. Something like it. So go to File, New, and make it your width 500 and your height 300, and then double click on your background and press OK, and then double click on it again, or right click and go to blending options, go to color overlay. I normally choose black because it's the best, but you choose whatever you like. Create a new layer by going right here, this button right here, to the left of this trash can, or you can go to layer, new layer, which I don't really do because it's slower, but you can. It's your choice. Then go to text, drag it over to where there's a little space from the right and the left, and about halfway, and then type your text, what you want. Make sure your fonts don't have a lot of this square things at the end, like that little at the end of the 2's and the S, because they really do make it hard to make it 3D. Make sure it's more like a block sort of thing instead of a long, sort of sharp, and it just makes it harder to look 3D. So check that, and then right click on that text and go to rasterize type. Now go to edit, transform, perspective, and drag this to the up. No more than 2 times this, the right side should the left be, because it just doesn't make it look like 3D as well. If you want to, you can, but that's up to you. Now what you're going to do is click on this button right here. If you want, you can click on show transaction controls so that you can see these little edges on it. Then go down to the, click on that layer again, hold Alt, and click the left arrow key like 5, 10, 15 times, whichever you choose. Right now I'm doing about 15 because of how much the perspective is. Your choice again. And then drag it below the first text, those merged. First, actually, you're gonna, my bad, I didn't do that. But go down, hold shift, click on the first copy you made and merge the layers. Drag it below the first text. Double click or go to blending options on the first text. Go to bevel and emboss. Drag it all the way over. Again, it makes it look pretty cool. You can mess around with that. I'm gonna choose blue or red. I'm gonna do red because I haven't done that in a while. Go to outer glow. Drag this button to white and make the opacity 100%. And again, you can mess around with inner shadow or drop shadow, but I'm not going to. And then double click on this right here, go to outer glow, and change them opacity 100 and make it white. Bevel and emboss, drag it all the way over. And if you're gonna make your color overlay something, it's probably best to do the same color, not like blue because that looks bad, but I mean black is okay. White's pretty good. Normally I'm gonna choose white. Gray sometimes is good, but yeah, white is good with everything as long as your background's black, or vice versa. And then save, and then press OK. Now merge these layers, and then go to right click on it, the merged layers, and go to duplicate layer. Click OK. Drag it below that one. Go to edit, transform, flip vertically. Now drag it down below your text. It's gonna be rotated awkwardly to where it doesn't look like it's gonna look good, but we'll fix that in just a second. Make sure there is some space in between right there, and then go to edit, transform, rotate, and rotate it to where they're even, so about there, and then drag it down just a little bit. See, it's not even there. And then it doesn't have to be perfect, but because it will not matter, because it will not be as easy to spot. And then go to edit, transform, skew, and make sure you move these to the left and right, not up and down, because unless you want it like facing a different direction, but normally you want it that way, to left and right, so that it looks like it's straight down. And then check, and then go to double click on it and go to satin. This will make it look like it's sort of reflected down, and I'm going to drag it down to 50%. You can go up, whatever you choose, 50%, and make sure that's black or whatever color you choose. And then go to new layer to the left of this trash can, and then go to edit. No, don't do that. But then make sure it's between these two layers, and click this oval tool, or right click and go to ellipse. And make sure if you want, you can do brushes, but I don't have good brushes, and that'll go in between there. But I'm going to use this. And make sure it's dragged to the corners. Again, drag this up, and make sure that this thing right here is not behind, like you can't notice it's there. Make sure it's behind it. Right there, see how it's, you can't exactly see that it's behind there unless you judge this right here. But then click check, and then take this opacity right here and drag it over to about 30%, 60%, whatever you want. Between 30 and 60 is normally the best. 60 if you want it like that, and 30 if you really want it to look really good. If you're using this, 60 is normally best for brushes. And see how I have this, I'm going to drag this up a little bit. It needs to be pretty close. So that's good. And then click on that oval thing again. Go to edit, transform, rotate. Now make sure it's even like this so that it looks like it's actually part of the text. So that's about good right there. If you're actually going to make it go past all the text, you might want to make it do something like that. Go farther. But that doesn't always look good. But it's your choice. I'll do that for right now just to show you what it looks like. I'm just going to do this though. And click check, and then go to, and then highlight over all these and merge them, and now we're done. So look at my channel. Oh, and you want to move these to the center, and then go to file, save as, JPEG. Make sure it's JPEG. And I'm going to do this, but I've already had it saved, so I'm just going to go over it. Save, and okay, and drag this to 12. If you want 11, since I don't know how much YouTube is, I think it's 85, but make sure it's as much as you can so that the graphics is really good. And then click OK, and then you're done. Now if you have another thing open, like say that you can, if these are merged, you can drag it into like a background, as you can see there. So yeah, and it's still here. So we're done. Now thanks for watching, and please subscribe and comment on how I did. If it's good or bad, I want to improve either way, and I'd like to have some more ideas about tutorials, so send me a message or comment and tell me what you would like a tutorial for.